Kiya talks about the struggles her and her daughter had to go through coming up in the entertainment industry.
Hit up by different agents and agencies throughout the years. I could have done so many things. It was me just as a single mother. If she wanted to go to...
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
If she wanted to go to college, I didn't want her to have any roadblocks to any college she wanted to go to. So my thought process was, hopefully she could just make enough money to go to college. And, yeah. So started her with print at 9 months. Actually, 2 agencies called the same day. So Wilhelmina just happened to call first in New York. And she signed with Wilhelmina. And she signed with them, let's just say it was a Monday. By Wednesday, she was working already. Like doing all the baby magazines and Baby Gap and all that little baby stuff. So Wilhelmina also worked with agents that do commercials and stuff. So that's how she fell into it. Like she did a first commercial when she was 1 year old. A little over 1, like close to 1.5, I think it was. And that's how it just kept going. And honestly, there were times when I was going to take her out, and I told the story, and it's even in her book. And I've told the story on Natasha Simona's show. If you ever want to go back and look at the interview that me and Skai did with Natasha Simona, she's in here right now. Give a wave, Natasha. Go back and look at that interview on her page, where I was very open and transparent about our life in New York and the ups and downs and the not easy stuff. But so yeah, every client that Skai worked for when she was a baby, from Kmart to Sears, Skai worked with everybody. Kmart to Sears to Saks to Macy's to, like I said, Baby Gap, Children's Place. Everybody you can think of. She was in every Sunday paper, every Sunday, in those circulars, selling clothes from Burlington to everything. And everybody used to work with her to say, oh my gosh, you work with so many kids. I know, season 2, right? You work with so many kids, and whatever you do, don't ever take her out, because we have a feeling that your daughter's going to be da-da-da-da. There was one client that even said, oh, I even worked with Raven Simone since she was 2, and I'm telling you, your daughter's gonna be da-da-da. So that's what kept us going. Like, people telling me not to take her out, even there was times I wanted to take her out because I wanted to go back to work. So there's a lot of misconception about what people think on why I got her in the business or selling her. No, I didn't pimp her off. I didn't do that. It was, let me see how this goes. Maybe she could make some extra money to go to college. And then as she got older, she just loved it. And everybody's telling me not to take her out, including her agent, who I had to talk with. And I'm like, I got to take her out. And they're like, no, you can't. Don't take her out. So I didn't. It wasn't always easy. Kept going. Trust me, it was not easy. And again, you can go back and look at Natasha Simona's, look at our interview from a couple months back. Maybe, when did we do that interview? Like 3 months ago or so? And I was very open and honest and candid about all of that. So she just kept going, and luckily it all paid off. So I'm going to comedy show. So I'm gonna try to leave here by 7:15. So I got a good half hour. Yes, a lot to do, travel and finding agents who don't scam. That's another thing too, yeah. It was in December, yeah. The interview was in December, so you can go back and scroll back on, she's in here, Natasha, I am Natasha Simona, and look at our interview on there. But anyway, yeah, you gotta be careful. If you think about putting your kids in it, people try to take advantage of you. And I tell people all the time, the number one thing, if anybody asks you for money, that's usually a scam. Usually, right now it's 6:41 p.m. So usually, how it works is get some pictures of your kids on your own. Don't even have to be professional if they're young. Just take pictures of your kids. Just of them. This is how it worked for us. I mean, that times have changed. Back then, you had to mail in pictures. Now, the wrong one. You don't have to mail in anything. Everything's through email now, so that makes it easier. But back then, 20 years. Look, I could officially say, which sounds weird, my kid has been in the business for 20 years. 2 friends are going with me. 20 years. She's been in the business for 20 years. That sounds crazy. She got her SAG card when she was 4 years old. She's been in the union since she was 4. That's when you could join. She did union jobs before, but you can't join a union until you're 4. Again, that might have changed. It's been so long. But you couldn't join a union until you were 4 years old. So yeah, officially, she's been in the business for 20 years. So there's another thing too. No, I'm not watching a basketball game. When people make comments or ask, what is Skai doing now? I haven't seen her doing anything. She, is she still working? You gotta understand, the chick has been working nonstop since she was 9 months old. So there was a time when she needed a break, and that was after the Disney Channel. She wanted a break. Naturally, she needed a break. So I think it was right before and after, like Dance with the Stars. And Dance with the Stars, hey, Anguilla, burned her out too. She said she would never do that again. Even though it was a great experience, but she would never do that again, she said. It was too much. But anyway, the chick needed a break. So imagine you worked since the age of 9 months up until you're 16 nonstop, 17 nonstop. Nonstop. When I say nonstop, nonstop. So she took a break, enrolled in college, she wrote a show. She got good things coming up. She took time to write her own show. That's been in the works for almost 3 years. That's not easy. You got people that say change this, add this. It was going to be a movie at first and it turned into a TV show. Right, and that's another thing too. You gotta protect people's mental health. She even got a therapist at that time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just need that. You need that. So that's why a lot of these kids end up, you know what I'm saying, going in that direction that you see in the horror stories of whether it's Disney kids or just child actors, and people, they're whatever. She needed a break. So just be sensitive sometimes when you hit her up in her comments and say things like, how come I haven't seen you doing anything lately? Trust me, she's never not working and working behind, hey Mosby, working behind the scenes. And sometimes you just gotta, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not that parent. I wasn't the parent that was gonna push her. She's in college, yes. I wasn't going to be that parent that was going to push her, trying to live out my dreams. Yeah, she needs another thing. Yeah, she hasn't gone live in a while. I'm telling you, she just needed a break from everything. So that was not my deal. And I always let her lead it. And throughout the years, I was the parent that would ask her, do you still want to do this? If you don't want to be an actress, you don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to do it. Look, and don't waste my time, because I managed her most of her career up until 3 years ago. Shit, don't waste my time, because I could be getting back to me, my life. That's another thing too. I gave up my life to pour everything into her career, and I did. And that's not to make her feel bad or, it's just a reality. It's just what I did. As a single parent, I had to. Listening to every client, every agent saying don't take her out, even when financially I was running out of my savings and struggling, literally I had to get on food stamps and shit. That was for me kind of humiliating for me on how I was raised, because I wasn't raised like that. But again, I was supporting her little career. So just give us some grace, and don't be I've gotten that in the comments from me too, oh, you just pimping out your daughter. No, that was never my intention. Again, I could have done this myself. Chilma, you spilling. There ain't no family business. I'm being real. This ain't family business. Ain't nothing that I ain't talked about in the book. Because I had to be interviewed and all that for the book. We pretty much wrote her book together. And I've said it in interviews. So there's no secrets here. You're just hearing it for the first time. Because you just never heard me say it before, some of you. But it's no family business. It's my business, exactly. And if I choose to tell what I want to tell. So, and she's talked about it too. And I'm not embarrassed. That's why I'm saying, everybody has a story. Everybody's come from something. And you never know anybody's story until you hear it. And so to judge a book by its cover, by thinking she was born with a silver spoon in her mouth, or didn't have hard times, is a myth. That's not true at all. We had many stressful times. Oh, DJs, that's nice. You don't have to. She bought some shares. I don't know what that means. But hey, this child paid her dues. Paid her dues, and y'all guys just don't know. And still paying them, literally. And that's another thing too. Once you come, ain't no shame in the game. I did make sacrifices, y'all. Seriously. She's still paying the price now for the decision that pretty much I made for her. When I say I made for her, at this time she was working in New York, a working actress. Skai stayed working. She did over 30 commercials, stayed working, and she had just booked the show Bulwark Empire. Some of y'all too young to know what that is. She's in business and business management and entrepreneurship. That's what she's in school for. Of course, we talked about dating. We talked about everything.
Thanks for tuning in to 9 Mag TV.